Hello and welcome to the news at 10 on NTA News 24, live from Abuja. I am Stella Inameti. The headlines. President Tinubu, Danish investor, seeks expanded European trade partnerships for Nigeria.
I believe that it is only here that we can energize the growth and inclusiveness of prosperity.
Senate sets Wednesday hearing for screening and confirmation of new military chiefs.
For the records, we want to say that Nigeria is a very tolerant country when it comes to religion. We don't want these dangerous narratives to go on.
On CNN, Information Minister reaffirms Nigeria's stance on religious tolerance despite narratives. Plus, 170 foreigners seeking Nigerian citizenship to face strict scrutiny by federal government. Thanks for joining us. Nigeria and Sweden are hoping to expand their scope of partnerships through a public-private partnership arrangement. President Bola Tinubu received founder of Bestsellers Foundation, a Danish private investor, in this regard. State House correspondent Musbah Dan Wahab reports. Okay, we'll bring you that.
Partnership in the communication, innovation and digital economy sector. The minister got a prospect for an improved collaboration as he led the founder of Bestseller Foundation to the president. The Bestseller Foundation already has presence in cultural and sporting sectors in Nigeria, but the founder acknowledges that the Tinubu's administration's reforms are opening up new investment opportunities in the country.
We really admire your country. We admire the reform that you have taken the leadership of your country, and we understand that this is no easy task, but it's meaningful work, and we definitely applaud that from afar. And this is also what is a part of our sincere interest in coming here and seeing what we can do. We clearly see opportunity, we see the talent, we see the creativity. Some of it, we admire in our daily life in Denmark, whether it's music, whether it's fashion. We want to be a part of what we believe are a great time ahead for your country.
This indication is a welcome development for President Bola Tinubu, as he says his government is ready for any partnership with specific interest in youth development.
And particularly innovation and digital economy and cultural value and sporting is one of those aspects of Nigeria that we are trying to nourish, and we will partner with you. I promise that.
President Tinubu adds that various reforms instituted by his government are geared towards maintaining the status of a country as the giant of Africa.
Nigeria prides itself in the continent, and we believe that it is only here that we can energize the growth and inclusiveness of prosperity in our continent. If we don't partner with people like you, we will have failed. We are looking forward to a prosperous, rewarding future for both of us.
We're speaking to Denmark, but also quite a number of investors in Denmark to invest in our fiber optic network, where we're putting $2 billion US. The government is investing 900, and that's already done. But we're getting private investors to also top up that money. So that's largely where we are pushing to ensure we can secure further funding.
The Bestseller Foundation founder is the richest man in Denmark and largest landowner in Scotland. From the State House, Musbah Dan Wahab, NTA News.
Senators slated Wednesday for the confirmation screening of the Chief of Defense Staff, General Olufemi Oluyede, and the new service chiefs. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports that the Senate resolves to fast-track the process to enable the appointees commence work immediately.
President Tinubu's request for the confirmation of the appointees was read at the commencement of plenary, after which the Senate promptly resolved to carry out the constitutional mandate expeditiously.
I would like us to do it tomorrow so that they can go straight and start work, so that we don't leave any gap in security. Is it the view of the Senate that this be taken tomorrow? Those in support say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Those expected as the Senate chamber Wednesday are the Chief of Defense Staff, General Olufemi Oluyede, as well as the Army, Naval and Air Force chiefs. In another development, senators approve other appointments of President Tinubu for the National Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission and commissioners for the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission. Meanwhile, Senate says the removal of Nigeria from the Financial Action Task Force grey list will impact on the country's economy. As lawmakers commend President Tinubu, the EFCC, ICPC, NFIU, CBN, among other agencies, for their efforts in implementing reforms and enforcement of regulations.
They will boost investor confidence and reassure the International Committee on Nigeria's renewed commitment to transparency.
The listing of Nigeria will also go a long way in giving our anti-corruption agencies full participation in the fight against corruption in the Committee of Nations.
Because of the reforms being introduced into the country by a leader who has the passion, the political will to change the entire spectrum.
For several years now, Nigeria have been paraded as dangerous to the financial setting. But today, Nigeria is no longer on that list.
Away from plenary, the EU Parliament's Foreign Affairs Committee delegation was at the Senate as both sides solicit enhanced collaboration.
If you have any recommendations how to further deepen the cooperation, the partnership between the European Union and Nigeria, between Nigeria and the European Union.
We applaud the relationship between the European Parliament and the European nations, European Union with Nigeria. In all facets of life, we remain one of our most interesting and mutually benefiting trading partners.
The delegation will proceed to Ghana for similar engagements. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Meanwhile, House of Representatives has passed for second reading a bill to amend the Proceeds of Crime Act 2022 to provide a unified legal framework for the recovery, management and disposal of proceeds of crime in Nigeria. National Assembly correspondent Mitaire Ikpen reports that the bill is proposing several amendments which include protecting the rights of the whistleblower.
The amendments to the Proceeds of Crime Act seek to make the process of handling forfeited assets clearly defined with timelines for determination of cases. The House believes adjustments to the Principal Act will bring Nigeria's laws on forfeited assets to be in line with international standards.
It will recognize virtual assets and digital proceeds of crime by establishing a national confiscated wallet for the virtual asset to be managed by the Central Bank of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It will equally provide for whistleblower and witness protection mechanism, empowering relevant agencies to receive, investigate and act on credible information while ensuring safety of the whistleblower.
A separate bill seeking establishment of the Nigerian FinTech Regulatory Commission also scaled second reading.
To provide clear regulatory framework for a FinTech industry ensure that operators comply with the established standard and guidelines, protect consumers by ensuring that fintech companies operate fairly.
In another resolution, the House asked the Federal Ministry of Works to undertake repairs of the Kano-Kari Highway, as dilapidated portions are reportedly facilitating criminal activities.
The road remains in deplorable conditions, inhibiting free flow of traffic. Urge the Ecological Office of the Federation to address failed portions in Sara, Boram local government area, Jigawa State.
Lawmakers are also working to strengthen internal security of Parliament, with the public hearing on the bill for an act to provide for the establishment and functions of the Legislative Security Directorate in the National Assembly.
We have experienced car thefts, motorcycle thefts, vandalism, fake identity cards, unwanted visitors accessing the National Assembly without documentation.
This piece of legislation, if passed, enables the Parliament to do their legislative activities, which distinguish democracy and other forms of government.
The House urges state assemblies to equally strengthen their internal security systems. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, says Nigeria is a tolerant country when it comes to religion, and called on the global community to ignore the negative narratives by alleged criminal elements about the country's security. The minister was a guest of CNN and re-echoed the efforts of the government within the last 2 years in securing lives and properties.
Nigeria is working hard. The government of Nigeria is working hard to ensure protection of lives and properties, and also ensuring that people go about their businesses the world over. Some of the claims made by some officials in the United States is based on faulty data. Some of them, on some assumptions that the victims of this religious violence are largely Christian. Yes, there are Christians that have been attacked, but these criminals do not just target one religion. They target Christians. Yeah. They also target Muslims. We have seen that in several parts of, especially the northern part of the country. So yes, indeed, we have security challenges in Nigeria, but we also have to recognize that there is a massive drive by government to ensure that Nigeria is ultimately safe for everyone. But for the records, we want to say that Nigeria is a very tolerant country when it comes to religion. We don't want these dangerous narratives to go on, because criminal elements and some of these extremists are driving this narrative and pushing people to believe that Nigerian Muslims and Christians are fighting each other. This is not the case.
Meanwhile, Nigeria has received 170 citizenship applications from nationals of different countries. This was revealed by the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, in Abuja during a meeting of the Advisory Committee on Nigerian Citizenship, which he chairs. A statement by Mary Ali, Assistant Director, Press and Public Relations, indicates that Tunji-Ojo emphasized that Nigerian citizenship is a privilege that must be earned through integrity and good character, urging the committee to thoroughly scrutinize all applications. The minister stressed that the federal government will not tolerate any attempt to acquire Nigerian citizenship through illegal means, adding that legal migration processes must always be respected. Reaffirming President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, Tunji-Ojo noted that the committee's work directly supports the government's vision of national integrity, security, and prosperity. You're watching the news at 10 on NTA News24. We'll take a break now. More reports when we return.
And the National Productivity Order of Merit Award goes to... the only tomato paste manufacturer to win the National Productivity Order of Merit Award by the Federal Government of Nigeria, endorsed by the Association of Private Medical Practitioners of Nigeria. This is an evidence of 100% natural goodness, great quality and great taste. So eat healthy to live longer. Use Arisco tomato paste and products. 100% natural tomato. Buy now and enjoy up to 20% discount.
Feel the power of precision, engineered to perfection. Every component is crafted with care, and each design is meticulously tested. From concept to creation, our engineers push the boundaries of technology, seamlessly blend in performance and sustainability with a deep commitment to African ingenuity. Introducing the CNG Boss, a remarkable achievement in engineering designed to operate on compressed natural gas, a cleaner and more sustainable fuel alternative. At Innocent Vehicles, we proudly lead the way in creating greener mobility across Africa. And it doesn't stop there. From SUVs to sedans, spacious buses to electric cars, Innocent offers a wide range of models designed to meet every need. Innocent Vehicle, the pride of African road.
This is NTA News24.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. To what could be best described as frank talk on how best to manage Nigeria's scarce resources by top Nigerian economists and financial administrators came to the front burner at the Oxford Think Tank Leadership Conference 2025 in Abuja. Abubakar Kwanga reports that Minister of Finance Wale Edun says the economy is on a growth trajectory.
A gathering of accomplished and successful Nigerian industry players of many years' experience and dedicated service to the nation. Now, key discussions centered on fuel subsidy removal and utilization of its proceeds and bottlenecks to free enterprise economy anchored on transparency and deliberate policy frameworks.
The improved growth rate, the stable exchange rate, the lowering inflation, those are just one side of the story. And the most important aspect is the human side.
But there are 40 minerals that we can exploit in commercial quantities. Why aren't we exploiting those 40 minerals in commercial quantities? Why are minerals still in the exclusive list of the federal government?
To say that there will be hardship is not an economic argument. To say that there will be a cost to removing subsidy is not an economic argument. The economic argument is, this is the cost of removing the subsidy. What is the cost of not removing the subsidy?
Prosperity requires more than just huge deposits of raw materials. Long-term progress is initiated and sustained by the discipline of leadership, the power of ideas, and the courage of execution.
Please, if you notice, I'm talking broadly. I didn't say leadership only in Nassau Rock. I'm talking about leadership across the entire spectrum. What makes some countries in Europe function, what makes some in Asia function, is good leaders at various levels.
The Oxford Think Tank Leadership Conference also dissected the national policy reforms and ways of strengthening resources and closing gaps in the economy. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
The fourth annual national conference of the Forum of Former Deputy Governors of Nigeria is opening up more conversations on the need to boost Nigeria's productive capacity for national growth and self-reliance. Kenneth Nanim reports that the forum is also focusing attention on leadership role, industry and innovation in policy implementation that will sustain industrial development, reviving local industries through policy, finance, and infrastructure development is also part of call by the forum, which says it will strengthen industries for local manufacturing and patronage of Nigerian products and brand. The need to embrace technology, innovation, and human capacity development were also identified by the forum as key to economic development drive.
Absence of potential, but rather how best to harness and translate that potential into tangible growth, sustainable wealth, and improved quality of life for our people.
The success story of any regime revolves around the productive capacity of the country.
We need the concerted effort of our leaders and the people to commit to a renewed determination to reposition our country on the path that will implant patriotism in the citizens.
We recognize that peace and security are the bedrock upon which all other sectors of national development thrive. I am convinced that the commitment and the zeal will continue to grow to a point where it will attain the center stage of national political development.
The International Labour Organization is keen to maintain regular training of people responsible in managing social protection scheme in Nigeria. This, the organization says, is policymakers are better coordinated in line with international best practices. Joseph Otsen reports that the latest training held in Abuja.
We have to go with the matter.
The International Labour Organization is carrying out this capacity training program on supporting sustainable social protection system across the West African sub-region. The aim is for more people to access social protection as a right.
And so in doing this particular, transform training, we actually did what we call an assessment to understand the status of those who are implementing social protection in the country. But in achieving the findings is to provide this needed capacity. I mean, the whole intention is that people need to have robust capacity to implement social protection in the country. ILO has the mandate. We've been doing this transform training in other countries. We needed to do it in Nigeria, and this is the first time it's been done in Nigeria.
And decent work is one of the strategies to achieve social justice. And in between or within the decent work, social protection is one of the key principles embedded in the decent work agenda.
This particular exercise is for Nigeria, and policymakers and implementers from 4 states, Abia, Benue, Oyo, Sokoto, and the FCT, are selected to benefit.
The composition of the group, it's people from different states, but also representatives of different ministries. You have people from social health insurance schemes, you have people from all walks of life. The idea is to make them understand how to coordinate different efforts.
The poverty level in Nigeria covers as much as 133 million Nigerians, which is not good enough. So we should try as much as possible to see how social protection works better.
The training focuses on 4 major outputs: improving social protection register to cover more people, building capacity of policymakers to understand ILO frameworks on social protection, legal framework, and enhancing information management system. In Abuja, Joseph Otsen, NTA News.
In a world where loud voices dominate, one publication has chosen a softer path, Peace Assalam magazine. For 23 years, it has whispered peace and nurtured minds. At its second honor roll ceremony, it honors intelligent brains under the veils, Muslim women emerging to serve family, community, and the nation. Ibrahim Dan Hamidu reports.
Salamun Kaulan min Rabbir Rahim.
The Peace Assalam magazine has, for more than 2 decades, built its identity around the calm power of faith and education. This year's edition takes a closer look at how the Muslim girl can rise, not just in character, but in contribution to nation building.
As we celebrate brilliance, we must also confront the biggest saboteur of destiny, and what we in the NDLA think is the #1 challenge in Nigeria today: drug abuse.
From family to community, from classroom to national service, the message of peace took different voices, yet spoke one truth.
Your achievement reaffirm one of the core priorities of the Federal Ministry of Education of this administration, to ensure that every girl in Nigeria have access to quality, inclusive and equitable education that empowers her to thrive and lead.
To our daughters being honored today, I urge you to continue living for Islam, to be true ambassadors of the faith, and to use your brilliance for the progress and development of our nation.
Honesty, respect, compassion, character, integrity, these are values that Islam holds dear.
What most of our youth nowadays don't realize is the fact that you are a son of somebody, and you have to have that always at the back of your mind, that you have to defend and protect to the best of your ability the family name and tradition that you come from.
Among those who gave the event its youthful spark were two Muslim girls, Farida Ahmed Bello, whose poetic prose on The Veil and the Vision drew applause, and Maimunat Olawore Omobolanle, an honoree whose quiet confidence backstage reflected the purpose of the ceremony.
What is the purpose of the mind? Is it merely a tool for survival, for calculations, for material gain, or does it have a higher, nobler calling?
The world is developing at a very fast rate. Modern problems are rising, and they say modern problems require modern solutions.
Standing here at the 23rd anniversary of the Peace As-Salam magazine, one thing is clear. When words are used with wisdom, it just doesn't inform the nation, it transforms it. I'm Ibrahim Dan Hamidu, NTA News.
It's time for another break. We'll be back with more reports in a moment.
Nevertheless, we must come to terms with existential reputational threats to our national brand, in which external purveyors of untruths are mischaracterizing our nation as a destination for a so-called persecution of people based on their religious faith. This is a propaganda externally woven by those who want to break or weaken our unity. For the upteenth time, I'm emphatic that there's no iota of truth in the communication that is out there, that there is a deliberate, calculated effort where one particular religion is targeted for extermination. I therefore urge us to use the instruments of public relations crafted in truths and facts to vehemently reject this single despicable narrative about Nigeria. It is incumbent on all of us to unite in a voice that will ensure that Nigeria is indeed a country that is anchored on the freedom for everyone to practice his or her religion. In any case, that is what our Constitution stipulates.
This is NTA News24.
Thanks for staying. The Minister of Livestock Development, Idi Mukhtar Meha, says Nigeria is the next destination of a dependable global livestock market. Yusuf Jika reports that this was at the 2025 Animal Science Meeting and Industry Exposition with the theme Transforming Nigeria's Livestock Sector for Economic Growth and Global Competitiveness.
25 Animal Science Meeting brought together industry players within the livestock value chain to discuss and ensure that the sector stand tall in the global market. Minister of Livestock Development, Idi Mukhtar Meha, said the industry is fast gaining tracks from across the globe, reiterating the Gulf nations' commitment to partner Nigeria in livestock-related businesses. He challenged the gathering to come up with a Nigerian animal breed to fit into the global market's demand, which Nigeria has been placed high in meeting these gaps.
We have huge opportunities today. The Nigerian red meat market is $3.2 billion, and if you can take every kilogram to the Middle East, there are off-takers. They are waiting for us today. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen,
with the establishment of the Ministry of Livestock Development, Nigeria has formally aligned with global best practices in recognizing the livestock sector as a critical economic pillar.
High point of the event were the induction of 252 members, 5 associate animal scientists and honorary fellows, and the Minister of Livestock Development and Professor Atahiru Jega. In Abuja, Yusuf Jika, NTA News.
Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, alongside farmers' groups, have thrown their weight behind the Senate towards establishing Rice Development Council of Nigeria and the Cassava Flour Inclusion and Production Bill. Musa Baba Aliyu reports that the support emerged during a public hearing on the proposed bills.
It is considering 3 bills aimed at enhancing national food security: the Rice Development Council of Nigeria Bill, the National Food Reserve Agency Bill, and the Cassava Flour Inclusion Bill. Minister of Agriculture and Food Security Abubakar Kyari joined farmers' groups in voicing strong support for the bills during the hearing. Kyari stated that if passed, the legislation will drive major innovations in national food production policies and programs.
In terms of value addition to our crop that has one of the highest production capacity in Nigeria, produce over 50 million tons of cassava every year.
Committee Chairman Senator Saliu Mustafa emphasized rice as a national staple, noting that the proposed council would provide flood-resistant seeds, modern milling techniques, and commercial-scale farming.
This bill heralds the birth of a dedicated council to orchestrate research, extension services, and value chain innovations leveraging on flood-resistant seeds to modern milling technologies.
This bill represents our economic firepower, poised to create millions of jobs, reduce forex spending on importation, and make Nigeria Africa's rice powerhouse.
Rice Millers Association of Nigeria recommended replacing of Central Bank of Nigeria board with specialized institutions like Bank of Agriculture.
We therefore urge the Senate to support the passage of the National Rice Council Development Bill, and we, the stakeholders, we pledge to work with all stakeholders to ensure the implementation of this bill once it is passed.
If this bill is passed, many women would have job opportunities.
Economists believe the proposed Rice Development Council of Nigeria bill could help Nigeria slash its annual rice import bill of $2 billion annually. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Countdown continues ahead of the Anambra governorship election, and any attempt of vote buying or electoral violence will be addressed squarely with uncompromising response. INEC Chairman Professor Joash Amupiton and the Office of the National Security Advisor handed down the warning at an inter-agency consultative meeting on election security in Abuja. Mie Ugidi reports.
All eyes on Anambra State, November 8, a day of decision. Voters to vet the candidates' credentials, records, and surrender their sovereignty to the most suitable for the #1 seat. Electoral violence, vote buying, the enemies of democracy. INEC Chairman Joash, just 7 days in office, 11 days to face his first task. The Anambra decides. And here discussing with security agencies to strike on vote buying, electoral violence in Anambra State.
That any attempt to induce voters before or during the Anambra election must be resisted and curtailed. With our collaboration with the law enforcement agencies especially the anti-graft agencies, to stop vote buyers from contaminating our electoral process.
Any form of violence during the elections will be met with strong, uncompromising response.
All vigilante groups will not be allowed to have any role to play during this election.
Assurance quite encouraging, but active voters' participation another big issue. And collection of permanent voters' cards in Anambra State expected to end Wednesday, October 29th, but INEC has reconsidered its earlier deadline.
And decided to extend the ongoing collection of permanent voters' cards, PVC, in Anambra State, starting from Wednesday, 29th of October until Sunday, 2nd of November 2025.
No much time for rhetorics, but action by all stakeholders for fair exercise. Mie Ogede, NTA News.
And as Anambra State gears up for the upcoming election, tensions are running high. But the message is to shun violence and make voices heard through the ballot and not brute force. Chinyere Fesi Okoye has the details.
There's one way I witnessed from our town. One of our candidates started causing problem everywhere. So I don't know about this one, but I think that if the securities can be tight, then everything will move well. I think.
Police as the lead agency, we will do all our possible best, and which we have been doing, just like what we did in by-election. We will assure members of the public that we will make sure that the election comes out successful.
On the recent rumor making the rounds that some candidates have promised as high as 10 million naira cash reward to any local government where their party will record highest number of votes, an analyst speaks.
All the political parties are involved, one way or the other. For me, anyway, if you have worked, then allow the people to assess your performance. You know, vote inducement is like when you are not sure of what is going to happen. So I just hope that the new INEC chairman will be able to rise to the occasion and speak in a very strong voice. And again, our courts should at least let somebody be arrested and prosecuted. And if that is done, others will know that, yes, that there is penalty for doing wrong.
In Oka, Chinyere Fesi Okoye, NTA News.
As a sign of Nigeria's commitment to environmental protection, accountability and sustainable development under President Bola Tinubu, the National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency has unveiled its compendium of achievements and relaunch of the Environmental Sensitivity Index map. Mina Daniels reports.
The unveiling of the NOSTRA Compendium of Achievements and relaunching of the updated Environmental Sensitivity Index ESI map aims to align with federal government's move towards a data-driven environmental governance.
Over the last 12 months, we have pursued this mandate with focus, accountability, innovation. Under this pillar, we achieved the highest ranking in the Nigerian Transparency and Integrity Index 2024 ranking.
In his address, the Minister of Environment, Malam Balarabe Lawal Abbas, while acknowledging the recent heights of NOSDRA, urged the agency to look into the rising spate of artisanal refining, which is responsible for about 82% of oil spills in the country.
That's why I'm here. But I'm more concerned about what I'm not doing very well. So let's look at it. This is a report, and I believe we'll go along with it. But this is a very important issue of Western Nigeria. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
The minister reaffirmed the ministry's support for NOSDRA in its mission to ensure a cleaner, safer, and more sustainable oil and gas platform in Nigeria. Chairman NOSDRA Governing Board, Edward Omo Erewa, eulogized the DG NOSDRA, Engineer Emeka Woke, for operational excellence.
Today we are gathered not just for a meeting,
but for a celebration of collaboration, progress and innovation within Nigeria's oil management architecture. It is a testament to the dedication of the Nigeria team and a demonstration of our commitment to transparency and regulatory efficiency.
The relaunch of the ESI map marks a significant progress with the inclusion of geospatial and socio-economic data to enhance timely and coordinated response to oil spill. In Abuja, Mina Daniels, NTA News.
As part of ongoing efforts to promote sustainable environmental management, energy diversification, and to advance a circular economy, the Federal Ministry of Environment is committed to providing the enabling policy and regulatory environment that supports innovation, encourages private sector participation, and promotes community engagement. In a message, Minister of Environment Balarabe Abbas Lawal explained this at a technical demonstration on the conversion of plastic waste into ultra-low sulfur diesel. Dennis Adegunloye reports.
2.5 million tons of plastic waste produced annually and only 10% being recycled in Nigeria. It's time for a rethink in turning this huge and hazardous material into something far more beneficial, not only to the environment and health, but also to the economy. Achieving this is what has brought together the Federal Ministry of Environment and key partners to highlight Nigeria's entry into innovative waste-to-energy technology with the first ever technical demonstration of plastic to ultra-low sulfur diesel conversion in the country. With sustainability being the watchword, key stakeholders are exploring partnership opportunities to develop national scale-up strategies for this innovative technology.
The Federal Ministry of Environment is promoting innovation, is promoting local talents, and also promoting alternative sources of energy. So it's not just about circular economy. We are also promoting regenerative economy.
A lot of that waste can actually be transformed to wealth, and the bridge between waste itself and wealth is innovation, and that is why an event like this is is a statement to the fact that, or a testament to the fact that Nigerians are beginning to wake up to being able to take the helm of affairs and innovate. So NPAP, fully spelled the Nigerian National Plastic Action Partnership, is an initiative of the World Economic Forum. And the primary role of NPAP is to drive multi-stakeholder collaboration and collective action towards plastic waste. And Nigeria joined the NPAP community in 2021, and right after that, a national action roadmap was launched that contains 4 systemic interventions that the nation could undertake to bring about a transformation.
So what we're trying to do is clean up the environment, engage people, pick our plastics, pure water and bottled water plastics that are thrown haphazardly, collect them, process them into pellets and convert to diesel. This vehicle that you see here has been running on this diesel for a year.
We decided to take away the plastics that are not being collected, which is the PE, PS and PP, which are more of a styrofoam type and the nylon bag that end up more in our oceans and on the landfill, to process it into ultra-low sulfur diesel.
The demonstration marks the beginning of plans to establish modular plastic-to-diesel hubs across Nigeria's 6 geopolitical zones, providing localized energy security and inspiring a new generation of green entrepreneurs. In Abuja, Dennis Adegunloye, NTA News.
National Human Rights Commission says it received a total of 371,622 complaints on human rights violations across the state offices. Executive Secretary of the Commission, Tony Ojukwu, made this known at the presentation of the September 2025 Human Rights Dashboard. The complaints cut across violations such as denial of access to justice, unlawful arrest and detention discriminations, among others.
This platform allows us to take an honest look at the state of human rights in Nigeria, not merely as figures or trends, but as reflections of lost lives and shrink liberties. As always, our offices across the country have worked diligently to investigate, mediate, and where necessary, refer the complaints for further action. Beyond individual complaints, our Human Rights Observatory continues to provide a broader view of emerging patterns of abuse nationwide.
No action is criminality. It has no place in any civilized society. The law is very clear.
The Association of NTA Pensioners, ANTAP, has commended President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his recent approval of a welfare package for pensioners, while appealing for a prompt upward review of the 32,000 naira allocation. This call was made during a courtesy visit to the Nigerian Television Authority headquarters in Abuja. The meeting, held ahead of ANTAP's 37th National Executive Council gathering, brought together representatives of the association and NTA management to discuss pressing welfare and administrative concerns affecting retired staff. The engagement aimed to foster stronger communication channels and deepen mutual understanding between both parties. During the dialogue, ANTAP leadership expressed appreciation for the federal government's efforts to improve pensioners' welfare, urging swift implementation of the approved package to ensure timely relief for retirees.
And also find a lasting solution to the problem.
The NTA management reaffirmed its commitment to enhancing institutional trust and prioritizing the well-being of its former employees. Government Secondary School Urozo will be representing Nigeria in the regional competition against 3 other African countries after emerging winner 2025 VIA program for safe mobility for school children. Oyeyemi Ajayi reports that GSS Urozo defeated about 30 other schools that keenly contested through creative designs and ideology on road safety across the country.
Catching them young is the purpose, and the proper road safety awareness is the campaign. About 30 schools in some states have competed, extolling road safety campaigns and safety on and across the highways. Part of the essence of this is the need for changing cultures about road safety issues across the country, with the children behind the wheels. After much contest, Government Secondary School Urozo became the winner, while Army Day Secondary School emerged the second runner-up.
Entrenching a culture of awareness about road safety issues amongst members of the public in a way that inspires enduring development in our communities.
By combining advocacy, education, and youth engagement, we can change attitudes, influence policies, and drive real change on our roads.
They are the future of our country, and catching them young like this is one thing that points out to the fact that Nigeria is going to be great.
My advice to these children is that this message is not only for them. They will educate their younger ones.
The task was for students to use their creativities to showcase safety procedures around their areas. Some of the participants bore their minds.
Excited, like I'm very happy that I made this far. Even though we didn't get first position, I'm happy that the effort I put in really brought out good results.
My advice to my fellow students is that wherever they find themselves, there should be an advocate, there should be an ambassador for road safety, because safety first is what people should always look out for, because it's better you arrive late than to be late totally. So
it has been a journey from the observation phase, where the students were taken out to observe their environment, to check for risk factor around their school. And when they checked for this risk assessment around their school, they were able to develop a recommendation. And this recommendation, they were able to translate it into awareness creation, and they were able to pass this information and knowledge to students around them and also within their space.
The winner, Government Secondary School Urozo, will be representing Nigeria in the regional competition against Malawi, Madagascar and Morocco. And the winner in this group will represent Africa in Paris. Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
This is the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Here is a recap of our top stories. President Tinubu, Danish investor, seeks expanded European trade partnerships for Nigeria.
I believe that it is only here that we can energize the growth and inclusiveness of prosperity.
Senate sets Wednesday hearing for screening and confirmation of new military chiefs.
For the records, we want to say that Nigeria is a very tolerant country when it comes to religion. We don't want these dangerous narratives to go on.
On CNN, Information Minister reaffirms Nigeria's stance on religious tolerance despite narratives. "170 foreigners seeking Nigerian citizenship to face strict scrutiny by federal government."
You have no better friend and partner than Nigeria. Let this unveiling today be a call to conscience. Let our practitioners hold the line of truth. To the media, please inform with integrity and with a deep sense of patriotism. To our public officers, communicate with transparency. To citizens, please let us speak with empathy. Let us come together to become the voice of responsibility, the voice of the world that heals division, that inspires hope and drives development.
This is NTA News 24.
Now let's join the sports desk for updates.
African number one in the 67 kg category, Elizabeth Ayanacho of Nigeria, has made history by clinching a bronze medal at the ongoing World Taekwondo Championships in Wuxi, China. The feat guarantees Nigeria its first World Taekwondo Championship medal in 2 decades, marking a remarkable comeback for the nation on the global stage. Ayanacho delivered a stellar performance in the women's 67 kg category, defeating Uzbekistan's Sobibronova in 2 fiercely contested rounds to book her place in the semi-finals. In football, African champions, the Super Falcons of Nigeria, will defend their title at the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations WAFCON in Morocco after playing a 1-1 draw with Benin Republic in the playoff second leg in Abeokuta on Tuesday. The Super Falcons go through on a 3-1 aggregate win after winning the first leg 2-0 in Lomé, Togo. Ashley Plumtier netted her first ever goal for the Super Falcons after putting them 1-0 up in the first half. Meanwhile, Ademola Lookman was named man of the match after helping Atalanta hold AC Milan to a 1-0 draw in the Serie A on Tuesday night. Lookman, who has struggled for form this season no thanks to his transfer issues in the summer, netted his first goal for the season, which was enough to secure a share of the spoils for his side.
To Kitolada, now Pasalic, and here is Lookman! He's back! He scored against me.
And just in, the federal government says it will continue to improve the standard of teaching and learning in institutions. This was at the inauguration of the Theatre Hall and Office Complex of the Faculty of Social Sciences, Nasarawa State University, under Tertiary Education Fund Annual Intervention. Board Chairman of TED Fund, Aminu Bello Masari, believes that the structure is a testament of government resolve in strengthening institutions of higher learning.
from January to September, State Fund has recorded the completion of about 71% of all infrastructure projects after the 1,649 across the universities, polytechnics, and the colleges of education.
Without that fund, the Nigerian university system would have collapsed. I want to thank you immensely.
I wish to commend the leadership of the university for their dedication and prudent utilization of intervention funds granted by TED Fund.
Today marks yet another important milestone in our relentless pursuit of providing an enabling environment necessary for academic excellence to thrive.
And that concludes the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Stella Inameti.